Well, I ran into my first roadblock that I'm not going to overcome. Oh yeah, I got something super excited. Look what I got. The Canyon Adventure Van's struts to keep these doors open. First off, check out this box. This box, amazing. So well done. Let me put this down for a second. So, here we are. We're going to take an average guy that has to do kind of a complicated DIY project here and say, can I do this? First off, the Canyon Adventure Van installation video on this, probably the best video I've seen. They go, it's like 50 minutes long. They go over rib nuts. They go all kind of like, what is a rib nut? How does a rib nut work? Here are different ways of doing rib nuts. Stuff that I wish I knew before. I have done some rib nuts before. I have my IU cab canopy camper and I've had to do some rib nuts on that. And it was nerve-wracking, right? The first time's nerve-wracking. It's still not easy, right? Trying to do it. But I'm an average guy here that, you know, has a little bit of handy experience. Let's just see how easy this is, or if there are any tips you might have from an average guy. So let me clear this place out first. First off, I have to say I really like that installation video again. They tell you all the stuff that you're going to need and why you're going to need it, including a vacuum, which they said if you use your van a lot, you're going to have a lot of grum you need to clean up first, and they were right. This is how much of a rookie I am at this install. I thought all rib nut guns were the same. This is the one I bought for that application. Oh no. Look at the size of this rib nut. If you can tell. It's really big. I had to go buy the Pro version from Harbor Freight. I haven't even opened it yet. I'm assuming it was going to fit. 50 bucks, so you're going to have to calculate that into your overall. Is it worth you installing it? Have I bit off more than I can chew? I don't know. And now I see why the guy at Canyon Adventure Van liked the automatic one. This looks like a workout. We'll see how it goes. All right, next up, according to the video, is to remove these two screws here on each side so it's easier to get to, and then we have to pop these out here, here, and here so that we can trim this piece right here. So let's see how we do. Alright, so the next step here is we're going to install, or we're going to cut this plastic here. I'm not going to go over the whole thing because they go over it in the video, but basically the metal to aluminum is going to overlap the plastic, so you cut a little bit, a smaller dimension than this, but they're really easy to understand and they're labeled really cool. So this one says D for driver, the other one P for passenger. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so they had several ways that you can cut this out, but I have this fancy little Dremel with this flat, and I don't get to use it very often. This is the perfect application for it, so I'm going to use this. They could use a jigsaw. There are several different ways, but you can watch the video, whatever you have that works. I might switch to a jigsaw. I think that's going to actually be easier. All right, my hood keeps on coming up real quick. I didn't film this, but I kind of flattened this all back out. They show in the video use a long screwdriver to get back, and they're right, you kind of have to push one tab in and then another tab and another. Next up, I have to start making the marks for what this is going to be. So let's see what happens. They recommended like a little marker to go in there, which is hard to get. They said you have to get like a mechanical pencil. So I just put the drill on there, which they showed you later on. That's how you do it. So, and marked that way. We'll see. All right, I got the pilot holes all drilled and test fit. Now I got to use the big bit. And I got to widen those all out. And then I got to paint them all. And while that paint's drying, I'll go over there. All right, all the big holes are drilled and painted. Gonna go watch the video one more time, then start the rib net process. And I can see how this can be nerve-wracking a little bit, because now we might have the cross thread if we don't have these just right, and that's what they talk about over and over again on the video. So I want to be extra careful here and just make sure I watch it one good time and through again, make sure I do it right. Well, I ran into my first roadblock that I'm not going to overcome today. So this is the biggest one I could buy locally where I live. This is the Pro version, but you see how short the handles are? Well, there is nowhere near enough leverage to get those closed for that size of hole, which is a real bummer, because that's all that they have in our town. So note that to yourself. So I can either A, try to buy one with a bigger handle and run into maybe the same thing you saw him struggling on the video, or B, go get one of the pneumatic ones that you see them using. That's like $100 and some bucks. All in all, it's looking like maybe if you don't have the stuff already, maybe a professional installer might save you a little bit more money, because while I can certainly do this, I don't have all these tools that are needed for it right now. So I'm going to do some more research. Right now I'm going to clean up though, because I'm kind of at a standstill. Bummer. That's it, guys. 3 different rib nut cuts here. Rib nut sets. So the first one I bought from Harbor Freight, Pro set, had a 5/16 set in there, but the handles were too short to get any leverage on it. I didn't realize how tight that would be. Ordered this one. It's a drill combo one, no 5/16. Got this one. It's a hand crank one. There's a 5/16, but I don't know if it's going to work yet. So I'm gonna go try that next. All right, let's give you an update here. So this setup here is working. And so basically you put a wrench around here and then you tighten it down to screw that down. I tried it with a drill, it didn't work. I had to hand crank it. And I had one of these rib nuts, I like ran out because I was testing. And so one of them was too fat, and I had some other 5/16, but the flange is not, it's too narrow for the hole that they had me already drill. So I was kind of panicking. So I took one of the ones that I practiced on, where it got a little tight, and I took some pliers and bent it ever so lightly so I can get it back in the hole and then crank it back down, and it seems to work. But a real pain in the ass. It really is. And this type of stuff, I do have a fully detached rotator cuff, as I said, and this is really hard on that. So maybe, maybe not for you. We'll decide at the end. Well, I got this one in, but I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty nerve-wracking. Like, this one's not biting as much as I'd like it to, but I think it's good where it's at. Maybe a pro install, but you never know what they're going to do either. I mean, if you're going to get a pro install, you better make sure you go into a pro shop, because not every pro shop does it the pro way. But let's keep on trying that one. See what happens. Well, there you have it. The hydraulic door locks are finally installed and going. So, should you do this install yourself? Well, if you're someone that works with rib nuts and mechanic and does automotive, probably a fairly simple install for you. The hardest part is just trying to get those holes just right so you don't cross thread as you're trying to line things up. If you're a hobbyist like me, that's where the question comes in. I spent a lot of time trying to research the right rib nut kit to buy for this application. Like I said, I had something prior that did not work, so I bought 3 different kits. That's a lot of time and opportunity. I had to go back and forth to find it. The one I landed on is about 60 bucks. I'll put it down in the comments in case you're interested on it. But for a hobbyist, you know, it's a little stressful cutting into your vehicle and, you know, making sure you do it right. So I would just kind of say, is 2 hours of shop time worth this kind of stress for you? If 2 hours of shop time is worth the stress, have the professionals install it. If not, give it a go. Maybe you'll be able to learn some new skills like I did. Until next time, gang, I hope I see you on the trails. We're getting this all packed up for the next adventure.